we need to have a chat later, after the race, to talk about this. And we can see the rain coming, so you haven't actually given us any help. Please don't talk again. And that was it, and the race continued, and the rain clouds came closer, and then it began to rain, and as you can see, it started raining very heavily. And I suppose we acknowledged the fact that he had given us like a 10-minute warning, but it didn't really change anything. So we got ready to make a pit stop to put wet weather tyres on the car, and we were going to put a small amount of fuel to last until the next pit stop. Because after all, we had had showers all day. After all, it was changeable. And we just decided to put a small amount of fuel into the car. So as Heinz came into the pit lane to stop, about 10 seconds before he stopped, the radio came back into life. And it was Dave. And he said, look, I'm really sorry about this, but he said, you know, there's something else you need to realise. He said, this is not a shower. This is a weather front from the south. It's a big band of weather all the way to the horizon. He said, I'm standing on a wall. I can see the horizon. He said, it's definitely the weather's changing. It's going to rain all afternoon. Now, this is quite an important statement. And our technical director realised that, so he got on the radio and he said to Dave, and this is the actual communication in the middle of a high-tech, multi-million-dollar Formula One race. Our technical director says to Dave, what makes you such an expert on rain? And Dave says, I'm from Scotland. Scotland and Ireland are very similar. The difference between summer and winter is the temperature of the rain. Okay? And we realised we had an expert. You know, this guy's obviously a complete expert. But our technical director realised the importance of that. If it's going to keep raining, we don't need to put a small amount of fuel in the car, we need to fill it. So we filled the car to the brim, we sent it back into the racetrack, and within about 30 seconds, we had our driver, Heinz Harald, on the radio saying, how heavy is the car? I mean, how much fuel did you put in? And I then heard our technical director say to him, well, Heinz, we've been analysing the data. He didn't want to say, I was having a chat with Dave from the coffee machine. But they're analysing the data. And we think it's going to keep on raining, so you just need to keep driving. So he kept driving and it kept raining, and half an hour later it was still raining, and then Mika Hakkinen and David Coulthard and the two McLarens came in for more fuel. And we went from being fifth to being third. Turned out that the McLaren Siemens satellite weather system wasn't as accurate as Dave. And then with 5 minutes of the race remaining, when I was already celebrating, wow, we're on the podium. I was so happy. I had 450 customers there. And with 5 minutes of the race remaining, suddenly Michael Schumacher comes into the pits. And we're second, and then Rubens Barrichello, and we win the French Grand Prix. And I thought I'd finish on that story because out of my whole career, Dave taught me most that day about management. Because I realised how inflexible our systems were. I realised how we had ridiculed him because he was simply a junior member of staff. I realised how we'd resisted his idea, even to the point of saying we were going to discipline him. About 1 hour after the race, we had an amazing party. Great thing about an Irish Formula One team, the party was epic. And into the party came this bedraggled figure, soaking wet. This was Dave, and he looked around and he said, what happened? Nobody had radioed him back. And we said, wow, we won the race. We won the race, Dave. And then our driver, Heinz Harold, went over to him and said, actually, you won the race. And he put him on top of a chair in our management meeting room, and he presented him with the trophy for winning the French Grand Prix that day. And as an act of management, of inspiration, of recognition of what's important, that was a moment in time not to forget. Because here's a Formula One driver who's happy to stand on the podium, realizing he's only there and because of the team, and specifically because of inspirational people in the team. And Heinz said to Dave, you know, I'm paid millions of dollars to drive in circles. You're not paid to do what you did. You made the difference. So I wanted to finish on that point. I've described about business models. I've described about technology, about innovation, about how we build teams that use data, getting hold of information, how we build systems and procedures and make those pit stops best in class. But my big lesson from it all is it comes down to how we harness our people. And as managers, when we can listen, there are Daves in all of our organisations, and sometimes they can give us the winning edge. Thank you very much.